Hey, what's going on, guys? Christian Hanna Horror here. So we're back with Volume 3 of horror sequels I love. I'm going to do an honorable mention, and because I watch a lot of classic horror, obviously I watch new horror stuff too, but because I watch a lot of classic horror, I want to try to have an honorable mention of like a modern new film just to be safe. I'm not saying I'm not going to have some modern stuff in here. As a matter of fact, I've got one that's, pretty fairly new. It's not new, but it's, this lifetime. The honorable mention I've got is Doctor Sleep. I liked this movie a lot. I liked the villain. She was awesome. I didn't like it as much as The Shining, obviously, but I enjoyed most of it. Pretty cool movie. I picked up the 4K of this, but I don't know that it was necessarily going to be too much better than the Blu-ray, because now I usually just get older movies on 4K as opposed to getting like new movies, but it is what it be, so that's the honorable mention. All right, so let's go ahead get right into it. Number 5, I loved this upon rewatch. I still know what you did last summer. I got that set. You guys checked out that review of the new set from 88 Films. I loved this movie upon rewatch. It had been probably a year or so since I watched this, and I had a blast, especially watching it right after part 1. Nothing but good things to say about this one. I like the sensibility of part 2. It's a little bit more funny and things like that, and you got a lot of the original cast, but you got some new cast and some very familiar faces, which I thought was really great. So I still know what she did last summer. I think is a great sequel, and I'm very excited to revisit that. I'll Always Remember, I think is what it's called, because somebody was like, Christian, if it's been a long time since you watched that one, give that one a shot. I actually think it's got some good stuff in it. And I was like, you know what? Guilty. It has been quite some time since I've seen it. So, and of course, I always try to show the physical media that I have for the movies. This is from the 88 film set, but I'm sure in America you can get yourself a Blu-ray of that. Number 4 is, God, I love this movie. Unfortunately, I think this is out of print in America. I'm not sure, so we'll see. We'll see what I can dig up online. But Bride of Reanimator has got to be my favorite Reanimator film. Now, I have no problem saying that the first is like the best one, but the themes of part 2 is so cool with basically Bride of Frankenstein, and they're recreating this woman, and they show Herbert West like building like all these valves and pipes that would be like your arteries in the body, and he was like, oh, we're gonna shoot her right in the heart, so when we give her the reanimation stuff, it's gonna go straight through. Oh, that's genius. It was, it's a mad scientist movie. The buddies are back. Herbert West and his best friend are back. Again, the best friend is trying to be the sensible guy who does the right thing, but Herbert West is just a nutcase, so he keeps dragging him down into insanity. This set is insane. I love this set. So, it's unfortunate it's out of print, but it was a pretty limited thing. But you can get this movie online, I'm sure still. We'll see what we can dig up on Amazon for you guys. But, man, if you haven't ever gone to watch Beyond Bride of Reanimator, I love it. Beyond Reanimator is good, too. When I get that Blu-ray, and we're going to talk about that movie. But for now, we're going to talk about Bride of Reanimator. Amazing sequel. Amazing, amazing sequel. Here we go. Coming in at number 3. The Human Centipede II full sequence. This is an interesting sequel because it does like a black and white thing, and it's one of those meta style where it's like this guy becomes a super fan of the movie, and so he decides he's going to recreate the centipede, but he does it nastier, not as medically sound. Not that I'm saying the first one was exactly medically sound, but you get what I mean. This was a really bizarre sequel. Very interesting way to go. I haven't seen the third one in a long time, so I can't even comment on that one. But this one affected me the most. I remember watching part 2. I was like, wow, this was not what I was expecting, but I liked it. So, very interesting sequel, The Human Centipede 2. I actually think the first one's a really good movie. I'm sure it's considered, a gross out movie, but I always thought part 1, the scariest part is when he's telling the girls the operation he's about to do, when he's explaining it. That's even scarier to me than once it happens. It's kind of goofy, but beforehand when he's prepping it, man, that's where the fear is for me. Coming at number 2, I love this movie, guys. This is Chud 2. The thing about Chud 2 is this is one of those sequels that doesn't have anything to do with the first one in terms of, story, but it's Chud 2. And I remember one time I had one of these on my list where like the part 2 really wasn't anything like the first. It's still the sequel. It's the part 2. So, we can't we got to take these opportunities to talk about movies we love, and as long as it's a part 2, part 3, I'm cool with that if you guys are. But Bud the Chud part 2, I love this one. There was rumors that this was supposed to be a Return of the Living Dead sequel when it first was announced, and then it got turned into this. I don't know the absolute truth to that, and I don't remember them talking about that on the audio commentary or the interviews. But this film was so funny. I mean, this is a funny horror movie. Really funny horror movie. I'm a big fan of it. This is probably one of my favorite Vestrons, Chud 2, Bud the Chud. Great energy to this film. A zombie romp, if you will. I love it. I love it. If you haven't seen Bud the Chud 2, definitely give this a swing. I love it. I think this is still available. I'll have Amazon links to these movies in the comment section below, and you guys can use those affiliate links. I probably get 50 cents if you buy it, which is cool. My number one is, man, I love this movie big time. Pet Cemetery 2. This is a really fun one. Mary Lambert came back for this one, so it does have the same feel as part 1. It may not have that magnitude that part 1 has, but I think that's okay. I like part 2. It has more of the home video style feel, well produced, and some funny characters in it. You've got John Connor coming back, for lack of a better term, because I don't remember his character's name in the movie, so we'll call him John Connor, Edward Furlong. He's back in this movie. He's got a best friend whose stepdad is this drunk cop who doesn't care for him and is mean to him and hates his dog. I forgot the dog. The dog had a really weird name. I can't remember the dog's name. It was a really silly name for the dog, but the dog gets killed by the dad, so they have to go up and bury the dog, and the dog comes back. It's very 90s, very moody. Part 2 is very moody, but in a different sense from part 1. Part 1 is very surreal and mythologically spooky and stuff, but this one's more 90s grunge moody. But it works. I think it works. I think this is a good sequel. This was before Edward Furlong kind of started to dip down with his personal life, not his acting, but it's a good flashback at this kid's career, who seemingly was just going up. So it's very, very interesting. Great sequel, guys. Pet Cemetery 2, I love it. So there it is, guys. That's Volume 3 of 5 horror sequels I love. Please let me know which one needs to be in Volume 4. And, I'm doing homework on these. I don't want to just, throw movies out there. I'm rewatching these to make sure I really do like them and really enjoy them. That's why I Still Know What You Did Last Summer made this video, because I loved it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a fairly good twist to it. I just enjoyed it so much. So please, guys, let me know what needs to be in Volume 3. Let me know what you think about those titles. If you haven't seen them and you want to order them, check the description. I'll have Amazon links to those Blu-rays. If you feel so inclined, pick them up. I love you guys so much. Each and every one of y'all. We'll see you next time.